It's time for your primetime forecast from Dr. Don's weather page in the Shepherd's Weather Center. Now, here's Dr. Don.
Well, who has been up all night long watching the election? Not me. I did stay up a little later than usual, but I knew at 1 o'clock this morning that we would not have an answer anytime during the night, so I went ahead and called it off and went to bed. And yes, here we are, late on Wednesday, and we still don't know who the president is going to be. We do know that the Senate will hang on to the red side of the aisle, and the House is in much better shape as far as Republicans are concerned, too. So, regardless of how this happens, and regardless of whoever ends up being our next president, we know that Republicans will hang on to most of the power in Washington, especially on the Senate side. All right, so this is not a political show. This is weather, and that's what we're going to do. And this is your primetime forecast for November 5, 2020 on Dr. Don's weather page from the Shepherd's Weather Center. We do have a lot to talk about, but first let me remind you to please go over to paypal.me/Dr. Don WX. There you can help us out. And folks, we're talking, it doesn't matter what you can do. If you can do anything at all, we certainly would like for you to help us out because the funding that you send to us helps us continue to do this. There's a lot of cost involved in it. So please do that so we can continue to give you the weather coverage that you deserve across East Alabama and West Georgia, the coverage that the major television markets can't and are not going to be able to provide. We can do that for you. PayPal.me/Dr. Don WX. Now, I told you we had a lot to talk about, and we do. We just cannot seem to get rid of the tropical season. We started before the tropical season started, and it looks like we're going to maybe be looking at tropical action after the tropical season ends, as we have got a monster storm down in Nicaragua. Made landfall yesterday as a strong Category 4, 150-plus mile-per-hour winds. Right now, it's up in northwest Nicaragua, about to go into Honduras as a depression, and then we think will emerge back out into the western Caribbean just off of the eastern Guatemala coast, and then continue back over to the east-northeast as a depression. By the time it gets back out into the central Caribbean around noon on Saturday, it should regain tropical storm status and then continue off to the northeast to a position just south of Cuba, northwest of Jamaica by noon on Saturday. And then maybe crossing over Cuba out into the Florida Straits by noon on Sunday. And then there's this big, huge dome of high pressure sitting out there in the Atlantic. It's not going to let it go much further east. Some models have it going maybe a little bit further to the east before curving back to the west. But this is what the National Hurricane Center is going to go with right now. Due south of Florida at noon on Sunday, and then a turn back to the northwest, just off the western Florida coast, tip of Florida there, by 12 noon on Monday. Now, where does the storm go from there? Now, you hear me refer to spaghetti models quite often. And so this is a prime example of why they're called spaghetti models. It looks like you took a handful of wet noodles and just chunked them up on the wall, and they stuck. And that is exactly how these model forecasts got their names, because that's what it looks like. Yeah, so where does it go? You see that all the models here are fairly well grouped until we get up there to around Cuba, and then it's just a big mess. The overall general consensus here is, however, that there will be a turn back to the west-northwest. And so what happens is going to be the $64 million question after that turn takes place. Does it go back into the north-central Gulf of Mexico? Does it hug the Florida west coast and go up into the Big Bend area and then turn back across Florida and come across maybe southern or southeastern Georgia? Does it hang out up there in the northern Gulf of Mexico for a couple of days and eventually punch on to the north and come into Alabama? Right now, it appears that we're going to see that turn back to the northwest after it crosses Cuba, and then a turn back to the northeast, maybe going back across northern Florida, maybe by Thursday or Friday of next week. So we're going to have to watch and see. Right now, I will tell you, if you live in East Alabama or West Georgia, there is nothing on the board that is extremely alarming for you. If you're down there in eastern northwest Florida, anywhere in the panhandle of Florida or the peninsula of Florida, and if you're in South Georgia or Southeast Georgia, you really need to keep an eye on this thing. Maybe even Southeast Alabama needs to watch what's going on here. But for the moment, there is nothing looming on the horizon that spells trouble for East Alabama or West Georgia. All of that certainly could change as we move forward over the next couple of 2 or 3 days. Here's your Storm Prediction Center convective outlook for your Thursday. Again, another fine day on the way. Maybe a few sea breeze showers and thunder showers along the Atlantic coast, and then down there in South Florida, where Eta is going to be slowly moving in the direction of, and that could bring some more tropical moisture into southern Florida over the next couple of days. So here's your national map in motion. You'll see that big dome of high pressure up there over Charlotte, North Carolina. And then just off map, you can't see it. There's another dome out there in the Atlantic. And so that's what's going to keep Eta from being able to make it all the way out into the Atlantic, which is what ordinarily would happen with this type of setup. And those showers there across southern Florida will continue as well. Here's your satellite shot for your Wednesday afternoon. And as you can see, we've got a convergence going on here. We have some clouds coming in from the west, and then we have that stuff pushing in from the Atlantic. Yeah, and we're kind of being sandwiched in between these two areas. You got high pressure out there in the Atlantic and a little bit of low pressure trying to come down from the northwest. All of this is going to factor in as to where our tropical system is going to go over the next couple of days. Total rainfall amounts, you don't see much across East Alabama or West Georgia, but look down there in South Florida. My, oh my, we're talking 4 to 7 inches of rain possible over the next 5 days. Pretty good bit of rain there off the Louisiana coast as well. Not really sure exactly what the models are picking up on there. It could be a secondary area of low pressure that could form out there on the northwest side of our tropical system, but we'll just have to wait and see about that. Rain chances are going to be better down there along the coast of Florida, on the eastern side, and then also up there along the southeastern coast of Georgia. If you're planning on heading north this weekend to catch the last probably decent weekend of foliage, here's what we are looking at. We are either at peak or just beyond peak across North Georgia, and then that extends all the way up into Tennessee and North Carolina. We are nearing peak down there in central and southern Alabama and back over in central and southern Mississippi as well. So you want to see some color, you need to come on up and see it this weekend, because that's probably just about going to wrap up the fall colors. High temperatures for your Thursday across Dr. Don's weather coverage area. 71 in Franklin. We'll do 69 in Lafayette. 72 down in Beauregard. Rockford goes to 71. Talladega will wind up around 71 on your Thursday afternoon. Birmingham also going to 71 degrees. Roanoke, Wadley, Wedowee all at 69. Woodland tops out at 68 degrees. Here's your Southern Union State Community College Live Doppler HD radar. This is valid as of about 3:35 on your Wednesday afternoon. Nothing across East Alabama or West Georgia. Those flashes of green that you see there are ground clutter returns coming back to the radar sites. There's absolutely no rain out there at all. As we take a look at the Futurecast radar, we do see some stuff out in the Gulf of Mexico and then down there across South Florida and along the Atlantic coast from Miami all the way back up to North Carolina and the Virginias. But all that stuff is sea breeze showers, and that's going to stay right there along the coast. Should not see much of anything across East Alabama or West Georgia in the next 24 hours. Current conditions across the area, 69 degrees. Our high this afternoon was 72. Currently, the wind is calm. No precipitation in the past 24 hours. Our relative humidity is at 40%. Dew point is at 45. For tonight, mostly clear, low temperature 45, a little bit warmer than the last couple of nights. Calm wind becoming east at 5 miles per hour. Visibility is out to 10 miles. Sunrise this morning at 6:05, or sunrise tomorrow morning, I should say, 6:05 a.m. And the sun sets on your Thursday at 4:47 p.m. Here is your 6-day forecast from the Shepherd's Weather Center. On Dr. Don's weather page for Thursday, sunny skies. 69 will be your afternoon high. We'll dip down to 53 on Thursday night. For Friday, mostly sunny, maybe a few high-level clouds. 71, a perfect Friday evening on the way for high school football. Down to 58 on Friday night. On Saturday, partly sunny skies. We did have a mention of rain in there at one point, but that's been removed. 73 with a few high-level cirrus clouds possible. And then on Sunday, we will see some sun, but probably more clouds than sun. 74 will be the high. We think it stays dry on Sunday. Monday, partly sunny, 75. And our next chance of rain way out there on Tuesday, with a 30% chance of showers, 75 will be your daytime high. Your extended forecast starting on the 11th, maybe a few showers, 83. Thursday, the 12th, a few afternoon showers, 79. And then on Friday, back to sunny. That's Friday the 13th. And then on Saturday the 14th, mild and sunny. That will continue all the way through the 15th. And a few afternoon clouds out there on the 16th. Yeah, you see kind of a roller coaster ride there in the extended with our temperatures getting up into the low 80s and then slowly dropping back down into the upper 60s for daytime highs by the 14th. Please go over to drdonwx.com. That's our website. Lots of cool stuff over there. You can see all of our videos on the homepage. And then all of our supporters are also listed there, and we invite you to patronize our sponsors and our partners. If you have a need for their services, please give them a shot. They help us continue to bring you the weather along with your contributions and support. And so please try to return the favor to them and use their services if at all possible. You can also go to the God's Country page at drdonwx.com and download the Mixler app so you can listen to God's Country anywhere in the whole wide world. You get my daily weather forecast to boot. Also, at the top of this video, there's a link where you can go over to Dr. Don's weather page on YouTube. Please do that and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And don't forget to click on that little bell so you get notified when we go live for severe weather. Our partners include Joey Knight at Anchor Roofing, 706-326-2438. Judy Albry at Shepherd's Fine Jewelry and Gifts in downtown Roanoke, 334-863-2812. Neil Johnson, Superior Heating and Air Conditioning, 334-646-0331. Mr. Brandon Brown at BR Construction, 334-744-1507. Southern Union State Community College, Wadley, Opelika, and Valley. Becky Rainwater at Remax Lakefront, 256-610-1390. By Auction 431 South, Joey Knight at 256-252-8932. Made in the South, a division of Southeast Soft Wash, 334-863-0084. Mark Mitchell at Bama Diesel Repair in Woodland, 256-201-3685. Jimmy Stevens of Jimmy Stevens Construction, 256-610-1364. And Jamie Dukas, your Alpha Insurance Agent, 256-452-5131. And again, folks, as of this recording, we still don't know who our president is going to be. Certainly leaning toward Joe Biden as the next president of the United States. And I know that this has been a very heated and hostile campaign. Really, things have been in a mess for the last 4 years. Not any one particular person's fault. It's been this political thing ever since Donald Trump announced that he was going to run for president. But folks, do this, regardless of who ends up being our next president, and it may be several days or could even be several weeks before we know for sure. Don't let politics define who you are as a person. We all have, I grew up in an era where we didn't talk about politics to anyone other than our spouses maybe and our immediate family. We didn't let it define who we are. We didn't look at someone differently because maybe they are from a different side of the aisle than we are. And I think that's where this country has gone wrong. Everybody is certainly can certainly have their own opinion, their own beliefs, their own thoughts, but let's don't let it define who we are. Your neighbor is still your neighbor. Your cousin is still your cousin. Your uncle and your aunts and your grandmothers and grandfathers. Your family is still your family, regardless whether they're blue or red or independent. Let's don't lose sight of that. Love one another. Let's take care of one another. We still have one another. Politics can never take that away. We control that, and we can continue to be loving, caring Americans, and we can turn this country back to what it should be, regardless of what happens inside the Beltway in Washington, D.C. So I'll leave you with that thought tonight. Also, I want to remind you to go over to paypal.me, paypal.me/Dr. Don WX. There you can support our efforts here at Dr. Don's Weather Page. We appreciate you, and we need you as our partner. Folks, I will be on a deployed mission for the remainder of the week, so it may be sometime over the weekend before I'm able to bring you another weather forecast. However, I will continue to update on Facebook the latest thinking of Ada down in the Caribbean, and any other weather information or news that pops up between now and the weekend. I'll post that information for you on Facebook. It's just that I may not be able to bring you a primetime forecast until sometime on Saturday or Sunday. So until then, good Lord willing and the creek don't rise, we'll see you next time on Dr. Don's Weather Page.